Hello, friends. Neil Craver here at Lotus Yoga Online. We're going to have a 30-minute slow flow today. It's not going to be slow like it's going to be easy. It's going to be painfully slow. So our movements are going to be drawn out, and we're going to hold that tension throughout the movement. And a lot of times it can be harder when we're moving through space, holding the tension like our arms are really heavy, engaging the entire body. So we're going to have this sensation of rooting down so we can lift up, so we can hold our arms up. And I'll speak to that throughout the practice. We're going to have a gentle warm-up, and then we're going to go into our slow flow, and there's not going to be much time for a cool down. You'll have to take that on your own. All right. Let's begin in child's pose. So the knees out wide. We're immediately going to be very active with the whole body, and we're just going to move the body in any way that we want and stay around the kind of child's pose form. So that the feet can be tucked under or laying on top of the feet. And we're just going to move around. We're not going to get very settled here. So you can move into any situation that you want to. I like rolling one of my shoulders forward, maybe dabbing the shoulders on the ground. You're going to be looking for any area that you can kind of work the tension out of. It's going to be a person-to-person basis. So it's kind of your job to bring part of what's happening within your body into the practice. You can kind of go along with what I'm saying, but ultimately this is your practice. And the deeper that you can connect to your internal thoughts, the better your practice is going to become, because you're going to give yourself exactly what you need. Maybe a couple twists here. Twist up with the arm, inhale up, exhale down. Other side, inhale up, left arm, exhale down. Now become very active with the hands, and the chest is going to be a little bit up, so it's not going to be a full surrendered child's pose. Try to put the glutes, make contact with the heels. Maybe a little bit of buoyancy here. So pressing the hands a lot. Maybe alternate the hands, lifting one and the other. Walk the knees to the center of the mat if they're not there already. Squeeze the legs together, squeeze the knees together, and start lowering back onto the elbows. If you can't get quite to the elbows, it's all good, wherever you're at. If you're on the hands, that's fine. So we're going to lift back. And as we start lifting backwards, we're going to start lifting upwards with the hips. On the inhale, we're going to lift the hips. If we can, pull the hips, the glutes off of the heels. Might just be a millimeter. Inhale up, exhale down, release. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep squeezing the knees together so the legs aren't flailing out wide. Now if you can, crawl the elbows under and release the whole back to the ground. Maybe just the upper shoulders. And give the legs, the hips a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe a little bit of massage on the side of the body, especially inside the pelvic girdle. There's a pressure point right there, the iliacus, right inside that biggest bone in the hip. Maybe give a little massage right there. It's a very difficult area to get to. If there's some tenderness in there, just kind of work the fingers around in there just for a minute or two. And work all the way up into the ribs. Make sure there's a looseness to the ribs, so I'm going to give them a little squeeze. Maybe try to work the hands underneath the rib cage a little bit, give a little bit of release. They should be pretty soft. If you have a lot of hypertension coming through the abdominal wall, especially the rectus abdominis, the outer abs, it's going to be hard to get a deep breath. Because if this fascial layer, if this muscular layer is in a state of hypertension, you're forcing all this air to try to lengthen some of that tension. And just stay steady with it, because it's going to be a little bit harder now, but ultimately that tissue will start to release. All right. Walk back onto the elbows. Walk back onto the hands. Walk the hands forward. Shoot the legs back. We'll be laying completely on our stomach. Point the toes. Stick the heels together like they're being magnetized. Inhale up. Exhale down. Cobra pose. Now, there's a couple different options here. If you want to work into the lumbar spine, lift up and push into the hands to lengthen. But if you want to work into the upper back, the thoracic, try to keep the belly button on the ground and just push into the upper back, squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you. Maybe you do a little bit of both. Start to cultivate an Ujjayi pranayamic breath. So we're at long inhales and long exhales. Small restriction in the throat to a hum, a little Darth Vader growl on that exhale. Push back up, hands and knees. Place the hands right underneath the shoulders, and we're just going to rotate around the hands. So we're going to get very active with the hands, like we're gripping the ground like a piece of grapefruit we're trying to crush within the hands. And notice if the hand is floating off the ground, try to suction cup like this is your suction cup. The whole palm of the hand is really stuck on the ground. There's a lot of tension in the whole hand working up into the forearms and ultimately into the shoulders and into the core. Rotate the opposite direction. We want to get some good circulation in the wrist because it is a frequently injured area. So we want to make sure that we get that wrist always warmed up nice and good before any sort of yoga class or really just anything, rock climbing, running. The wrist can become injured and you have to completely stop the exercise and maybe take a break, and you lose all your gains when you get injured. All right. Push back up to Malasana squat. Yogi squat. So we're just rotating left and right. Maybe walk the hands around. We're still keeping this free form kind of movement. So we can roll up onto the toes, roll back onto the heels. Just get loose and active. Maybe walk around a little bit. So we're staying very loose, free form. We're not very rigid yet in this yoga practice. We're kind of walking around in Malasana squat. And I always like to lean a little bit left and a little bit to the right. Feels really good on the lower back, the QL region. Make sure we have some motion in and out, so we're in control of what's happening in the hips, deep in the hip socket. Maybe rotate the knee, tap it to the ground. It's all good. It's all up to you. Whatever's your body's calling for right now, just explore what can happen. So we just keep walking around in this wide yogi squat. Malasana. Almost like a little creature, little animal movement. Maybe working to a little bit of a back bend. Just notice the capabilities of what can happen here. Before we get started in this kind of very formal or very square positions of the body where we're rolling through the vinyasa, we won't have as much room to kind of be as artistic. All right, walk the hands forward and the feet back for downward facing dog. So now that we've got all the wiggles out, we're just going to start deepening the breath here. And try to stop moving the body. Whatever kind of depth that you have with the legs or arms, it's all good. See if you can look at the thighs or look at the navel. Begin a heavy breath. Make sure you have some extra power going into the palms to bring the chest further to the ground. Activate through the feet. Try to melt the heels to the ground. And if the heels are on the ground, try to lift the toes. Now step both feet forward 12 inches. Put a little extra weight in the hands like a very short downward facing dog. Reacclimate with bent knees or come up onto the toes. Walk forward again 12 inches, both feet. Come up on the toes now and put a little extra weight in the hands. Keep looking at the thighs. Come forward another 12 inches. We're about a foot away from the hands here. Come as high on the toes as you can, as much weight as you can into the hands. Step back 12 inches. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Another 12 inches to the back of the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Step back to your normal downward facing dog. You want to have the feet about hip width, so the toes aren't touching. There's got a good space in between, like a normal stance in the feet. The hands are about shoulder width apart. Extend the right leg 3 points. Knee to nose, cheetah. Move slow on this exhale forward. Three points. Inhale. Now the right toe taps the right wrist 3 times. Puff up the back. Tap, tap, tap. 3 points. Now your right toe is going to tap the left wrist. Tap 3 times. Puff up the back, make space, pull the knee as far as you can into the chest. Tap, tap, tap. 3 points. You're going to open up the hips to the right side of the mat and bring the right heel to the glute. Bend both knees a lot and try to slide the right hand with you for your flip dog. So you stay with 4 points of contact almost the entire time. Feet right underneath the knees. And then ultimately lifting upwards with the hips, extending the right hand overhead. Look past the right hand. 3 breaths here. Try not to let the position of the body change the length of the breath. Slowly come back. Plant the right hand. Slide the right foot up 3 points. And then kick the foot through for fall and triangle. Try to kick towards the front of the mat. Let the foot slide on the ground. Now inhale the left hand up. I like to extend my hand forward to the front of the mat and try to lift the left hip point a little bit higher. Three points. Four-legged dog. One inhale. Exhale. Slowly lift the left foot. Lift the left foot. 3 points. Roll forward, knee to nose, cheetah. Try to exhale as the knee touches the forehead or the chin. 3 points. Now that toe triple tap. Left toe taps the left wrist 3 times. Make a lot of room. Push the ground away as much as possible. Tap, tap, tap. 3 points. This is the inhale when we push back. Now exhale, roll forward, triple tap. 3 points. Begin to open up the glutes and open up the hips to the left side. Prepare for flip dog. Generous bend on that right knee so the right knee comes closer to the ground. We get low to the ground with the hips. Try to start sliding that left hand to the feet. Get the feet positioned and then lift the left hand, lift the hips. 3 breaths. Slowly come back out. Try to reground the left hand before you pick the feet up. So I got the left hand on the ground and slowly start picking that left foot up. 3 points. Four-legged dog. Begin to slide your right hand near the right foot. So you can teak up the hand maybe off the mat for stability, if you feel really wobbly in this position, for a mad dog variation, lift the left leg. So we stay in the downward facing dog shape, but we're adding a very complicated balance situation. Now the right hand could stay on the ground, or it could extend the same angle as that back leg. Deepen the breath. Downward facing dog, forelegs. Now we're staying in this downward facing dog an extended period, this 30-minute class. Notice the difficulty if this isn't your favorite position. Let that difficulty challenge you in a way that makes you build strength and strength of character on your mat and off your mat. Be all right with that difficulty. Start moving that left hand near the left foot for our mad dog on the other side. Start moving the left hand towards the left foot and start lifting up with that right leg for a mad dog variation. Now, if this feels good, you can lift the left hand. And if it doesn't feel good, I would still try to lift the left hand. Even if you get wobbly, you can still just place the left hand back on the ground to catch yourself. But challenge yourself here. I would lift the hand, especially if the hand feels heavy, just to get this challenge in. Four-legged dog. Let the breath become long and smooth. Right leg 3 points. Knee to nose, cheetah, exhale. Inhale, tap the knee to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, cheetah. Tap. Exhale. Tap. Exhale. Tap. Drop both knees on the ground. Lift. Knees on the ground. Lift the gaze. Lift the arms. Open twist to the right side. Deepen the breath. Place the right hand at the front of the mat. Side plank variation. Float that right leg. Extend the left arm forward. Extend the right leg. Grab the big toe or the knee. Release the bind. Slowly bend the knee again. Place it right underneath the hips with the right leg off. Lift for gate pose. Start an open twist to the left side, turning and reaching with that right arm for that left leg. Maybe onto the calf, or maybe all the way down to the heel. Keep opening with that left arm. Slowly unwind. Place the left hand on the ground. Slowly unwind. Place the right hand on the ground so the left hand and right leg is floating high plank. The bird dog variation. Now slowly push this into mad dog. You can place the hand on the ground and walk the fingers to the back of the mat, or just go straight forward. Just go slow. And if you fall out, just come right back. Four-legged dog. Root down, hands and feet. Clearing inhale, deepen the breath. Exhale. Left leg, 3 points. Knee to chest or knee to the forehead. Roll forward. Exhale. Inhale, tap the ground with the knee. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Drop both knees on the ground. Inhale up. Now the back toes can be tucked under for a little extra stability, or they could be untucked. Squeezing the legs together, we're going to lift up through the spine, lift up through the gaze, arms up, open twist to the left. Place the left hand on the ground, side plank variation. Lift the left knee. Float the knee as high as you can into the chest. Squeeze with the knee. Extend the right arm. Extend that left leg. Maybe grab the knee or grab the big toe with the right hand. Lift. Release. Slowly bend the knee back. Place the knee right underneath you. Kickstand the foot out to the left side. Gate pose. T-shape with the arms. Start rotating as far right as you can. Making that left hand start reach to the right leg. Rotating a lot with the trunk. Slowly open back up. Place the left hand on the ground. Bird dog, high plank. Right hand, left leg lifts, extends. From here, walk the hand on the ground or slowly float the hand back. Mad dog. Reset. Four-legged dog. Child's pose. Drop the knees to the ground. Drop the chest to the ground. Let the whole body collapse now and let gravity pull you into the planet, and let that gravity support you for 5 of your deepest, longest inhales and exhales. Let every exhale feel like there's a magnet in the chest, a magnet in the heart that pulls the heart closer to the center of the planet, balancing the whole system on each exhale. Slowly push weight into the hands and push up to the knees. Eyes are closed. Left hand on the heart, right hand on the heart. Feel this heat, feel this magnetism coming from the heart. This openness, this vascularity of the heart, this flow. Let this balance on the mat. Carry that balance off the mat into your day. Share that love and that creative force with everyone that you come in contact with. Namaste.